All right, let's get right into it. We're going to talk about a mystery that millions of us, carry around in our pockets every single day. We are pulling back the curtain on that Latin phrase that's been staring at us from every US dollar bill. Annuit Coeptis. You know this image, right? Of course you do. It's the unfinished pyramid with that all-seeing eye of providence just floating there. It's so familiar, we probably don't even see it anymore. But right there, hovering over that pyramid, are two little Latin words that hold this incredible story about history, about design, and maybe even a little bit of an obsession with one particular number. So what is this phrase really saying? I mean, what did the founders of the United States actually want to communicate with this ancient-sounding motto? Let's figure it out. Okay, so first things first, we have to go right to the source and just break down the Latin. It's only two words, but believe me, each one packs a punch. So let's look at the direct translation. Annua, that means to nod or to approve, and coeptum, that means a commencement or an undertaking. So when you put them together, you literally get he, she, or it approves of the undertakings. The key thing here is that the subject, the who, is missing. It leaves it pretty open to interpretation. But the U.S. government doesn't leave it ambiguous. The official translation, and this is from the State Department, the Mint, and the Treasury, they all add that crucial subject right there in brackets. He, God, has favored our undertakings. So the official meaning is a clear statement of divine approval for the whole American project. Case closed, right? Well, not quite. See, the story gets a whole lot more complex when you find out that this super famous motto almost didn't make the cut. There was another one on the table first. Yeah, it turns out the design process for the Great Seal of the United States went through a few drafts, and in an earlier version, a completely different phrase was proposed to sit right there above the pyramid. And this shows the change perfectly. On the left, you're looking at the initial proposal from 1782 by a guy named William Barton. It looks similar, but it's not quite the same. Then on the right, that's the final version, the one finalized by Charles Thomson and adopted by Congress. See the different words arched over the pyramid? So the original motto was Deo favente. That translates to with God's favor. The final version, as we all know, is Annuit Cœptis. The meanings are super similar, but just look at that bottom row. Deo favente has 10 letters. Annuit Cœptis has 13. Is that a coincidence? Maybe. Or maybe not. And that leads to the really big question here. Why even make the change? The meanings are almost identical. Was it just, a stylistic choice? Or was there a deeper, way more symbolic reason for it? This is where a really fascinating theory comes into play. It's one that connects the motto to one of America's most important and recurring symbolic numbers. The number 13. I mean, it is everywhere in early American symbolism, right? It represents the original 13 colonies that came together to form the United States. And when you start looking closely at the Great Seal, you see it again and again and again. Seriously, the pattern is just undeniable. You've got 13 levels on the pyramid. The other famous motto, E pluribus unum, count 'em, 13 letters. There are 13 stars above the eagle on the other side of the seal, 13 stripes on the shield, 13 arrows in the eagle's talon. The theme is just, it's unmistakable. So according to researcher Robert Hieronymus, this was no accident at all. He argues that Charles Thomson, the guy who finalized the seal's design and who, by the way, just happened to be a former Latin teacher, deliberately swapped out the 10-letter Deo favente for the 13-letter Annuit Cœptis, specifically to make it fit perfectly with this overarching theme of 13. But even if the number of letters was a totally deliberate choice, the phrase itself has a much, much deeper history. The ultimate origin of Annuit Cœptis, well, it isn't American at all. And this is the final piece of the puzzle. To find the source, we actually have to travel back in time, nearly 2,000 years before the American Revolution, to the world of ancient Rome and its greatest poet. There it is. The line comes from the Roman poet Virgil's masterpiece, the Aeneid. The full line is, Jupiter omnipotens audicibus annue Cœptis. Just look at those last two words. Charles Thomson lifted them almost directly from this ancient text. So in the poem, this line is spoken by Ascanius, the son of the hero Aeneas. He's about to go into his very first battle, and he says a prayer to the king of the gods, Jupiter, asking him to favor my bold undertakings. So this phrase, this motto that sits on the money of a modern republic, actually began as a prayer from a young hero embarking on a dangerous, bold new venture. The parallel there is pretty amazing.
So, a simple phrase on a dollar bill turns into this incredible story about divine providence, a deliberate design choice all about the number 13, and a powerful echo of a Roman hero's prayer for a bold new beginning. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other hidden histories are we overlooking in the simple things we see every single day?